First of all, when we talk about urban development, it can be related with the country all around the world. So the question is, what is the meaning of urban development and how urban development can happen? So let's look into the meaning of urban development. Okay, urban development can be defined as a development that is not rural in nature and differ from rural development in terms of scale, intensity, visual character and the predominance of built structures. So other than that, urban development is involving the aspect of social, cultural, economic and physical development of cities and the underlying causes of these processes. Okay, infrastructure for education, health, justice, solid waste, marketplaces, street pavements and cultural heritage protection are all included in urban development. Okay, one of the factors that lead to the urban development happen is because of population growth. So that's how urban development can happen. According to the World Bank website, it stated that Malaysia is among the most urbanized countries in East Asia and its urban population also continues to increase rapidly. It's also stated that Malaysia has 19 cities with population of 100,000 or more, one with a population of more than 5 million in Kuala Lumpur, two with population of 1 million to 5 million in Georgetown and Johor Bahru, 5 with population of 500,000 to 1 million and 11 with population of 100,000 to 500,000. Urban population can be refers to the people living in the urban areas. According to the World Bank website, it stated that Malaysia urban population for 2020 was 24,973,604, a 2.03% increase from 2019. Not only that, according to the Star News article, it stated that Malaysia has one of the fastest urbanization rates in Southeast Asia and has become one of the most urbanized countries in the region. It's also stated that in 2020, 77.16% of the country's population already live in urban areas and cities, a rapid increase from a mere 34.2% in 1980. From the trend, we can say that the urban population in Malaysia had been steadily increased, and as it in line with global trends, it is projected to increase further in the future.
According to the Road to 1901, urban poverty refers to the set of economic and social difficulty that are found in urban city, and they are also the result of combinations of processes such as the establishment of comfortable living standard, the increase of individualism, process of social fragmentation, and the dualization of the labour market, which translate into social dualization. Urban poverty is seen as a type of poverty with the primary characteristic that it occurs in the industrialized society. Alright, in Malaysia, urban poverty is not considered as a serious issue. However, rising in development and industry are predicted to attract rural immigrants into urban areas, brings a low incomes with them and placing pressure on the urban service, infrastructure and also the environment. Review previous and current trend in urbanizations and urban poverty, particularly in the Malaysian city of Kuala Lumpur, and highlight in evidence of the nature and causes of the urban poverty based on a recent study of urban poverty in Kuala Lumpur. Malaysian urban poverty has increased as a result of pandemic of COVID-19. The B40 has been affected the worst in terms of debts, job loss and income, despite the fact their feed expenses have remained constant. It was recently found that around 20% of M40 has joined the B40. Malaysia urban poverty may be tracked into a 1970 and 1980 when a large number of people left kampung estate to move on its squatter area and find job. Although behind housing of the poor and imposition of a minimum wage have been somewhere realised that over a decade, the fundamental cause of urban poverty remain unsolved because minimum of wage remuneration level are insufficient to cope with the cost living and result education of their children, healthcare, saving, and any eventually of social mobility have been seriously affected.
Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Daniel Qayyumirrahi. Today, I will be presenting about the role of government in handling the urban poverty issue. So, urban poverty, as explained by my group member just now, is an issue that is considered as crucial and needs to be solved as soon as possible. Poverty is a widespread occurrence in the country, but urban poverty will be studying a group of people living in an urban area but still hits the poverty mark. Living in an urban area is hard because the cost of living is quite high rather than in the rural area. So the government is one of the machinery that is responsible to handle the urban poverty issue. What could the government do to solve or handle the urban poverty issue? So, the government could educate and lift the level of education among the children in school and teach them business practices that can help them gain a higher experience and maybe someday run a company. Second, strengthen social safety nets and provide government-funded empowerment. The third one is to ensure income is redistributed to uplift those in poverty. Fourth, create a policy that promote economic development. This is all the initiative that the government of the world could do. As an example, in the United States of America, the government uses an initiative such as progressive income tax, public assistance programs, economic development programs, and managing the economy. One of the initiatives that the government of Malaysia could do in helping to eradicate the urban poverty issue is to make a policy such as the government had made a new economic policy that has been used in Malaysia for a long time. Other than that, is the implementation of Azam Tani project. The Azam Tani project is actually a project made by the government to help the farming sector, the agricultural sector to be risen up by giving the venture grant up to RM10,000 ringgit. So people who are living in the poverty sector could venture into agricultural sector and maybe eradicate the poverty issue. Thank you.
Society also plays an important role to prevent poverty, which they can report urban poverty issues through government or non-governmental organizations to solving these problems, and it can help the authorities take action on that person. So, what society can do in this issue? Firstly, rules of society to poverty issues are to always help each other in any conditions. This is because everyone is not wish to be poor, but because of our circumstance forcing them to live that way. Hence, a good society doing many charities, constant people around them, help them physically and mentally to support their living conditions. Secondly, we as a part of society can donate funds and time and find volunteer opportunities. One of the most straightforward ways to help fight poverty in our community is to donate funds to organizations whose mission it is to end these economic disparities. No amount of money is too small or too large. As this donation add up, organization can put the funds toward fixing housing inequalities, education gap, and food insecurities. Thirdly, training education by civil society agency and the non-government organization. Training education by civil society agency and the non-government organization include initiatives like educations, transportations, and also medical care. They are also give loans to boost business and provide the job opportunities, industrial training, and also better housing. As for example is My Kasih. The organisation is committed to the long-term goal of empowering the Malaysian community by providing more than just short-term relief. Its efforts in tackling poverty in Malaysia are directed into its main program, which is Love My Neighbourhood Food Aid Programs. My Kasih Food Aid Programs provide improvised household with the at least RM18 per month for only a year. By 2019, My Kasih had provided roughly 280,000 families with the RM260 million worth of cashless aid.
We are going to continue with the challenges of urban poverty. The first challenge of urban poverty is housing quality. To reduce poverty, it is important for the government to understand the causes and the scale of growing urban challenges. Population growth has fueled an increase in overcrowded and unsanitary living conditions for many poor people. With high population growth rate and inappropriate government control on land, housing and house construction, the cost of conventional housing is frequently over the rest of many poor people. Under these circumstances, securing their property right is the most critical issue for the poor. Whether it is the right to occupy a room or house for a certain period of time or to occupy their own land. For the poor people, the high cost of living in urban areas coupled with the need for a safe income and wealth base can put an additional burden on their lives. In this context, the definition of poverty income misjudges the degree and depth of poverty in a city. We are going to move to the next challenges of urban poverty. Difficulty in accessing government services. Rapid urbanization has brought us a great challenges to urban management system, especially for the local government. The ability to meet the changing needs of different urban dwellers, including the poor, while responding to changing demands such as population growth, deregulation, privatization of state-owned assets, impacts people's lives and working lives. Unfortunately, despite decentralization, many local authorities lack of the financial resources to invest in new infrastructure and services or to maintain the infrastructure, and often fail to identify opportunities to work through partnership with the citizen and the private sector to mobilize additional resources and capital for the development purpose. Systems are also strained where urban managers lack of the human, physical, and financial resources to meet the rising demand, and where a political willingness to recognize the needs of different groups of urban population, and especially for the poor people.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Azim Rosli, and now I will be proceeding with the suggestion for the problem. The first problem is housing quality. For 90% of people who already construct homes, ascertaining the construction quality always remains a challenge, whether it is a big-scale residential project or a duplex or an independent floor. It is really difficult for homeowners to gauge the quality of building material used. Nevertheless, there are some methods that property owners can apply to make sure that no one are being cheated in the name of branded sanitary ware, high quality beam and column, and the best water pipe and electrical wiring. The first one is investigating the soil quality. When you go to a site, try to notice the quality and type of soil of which on the building is built. And you can ask the contractor or the agent to understand the exact nature of the soil. The quality of soil can differ from place to place. It is important element to determine the strength of the foundation. Remember that clear rich soil and black cotton soil are not recommended for high-rise construction. According to the experts, such soil tend to swell and shrink depending on the level of moisture and water. Property buyers can also ask for a copy of soil test that is conducted before the construction initiates. Second is access the structural design. A person who not familiar with design technique will find it difficult to understand the structural nitty-gritty. Hence, you can hire an expert to determine the design and structural strength of the building. Property owners are often advised to assess construction quality in terms of its earthquake-resistant firefighting arrangement and the availability of the emergency exits. The next suggestion for the second problem, which is difficulty accessing government services. Government service means any building or land from which government services are offered, including fire and police protection, municipal services, government offices, and correctional facilities, but exclude outside storage or the servicing of machinery and equipment. Emergency services are organizations that help ensure public health and safety by managing a variety of high risk or emergencies. The three fundamental emergency services include fire, police, and ambulance. The first suggestion is e-government. The World Bank has defined e-government as the use of information technology by government agencies that are responsible for transforming information between people, business, and all other governmental stakeholders. The e-government has wide range of objectives, include better delivery of public service to people, enhancing business and industrial collaboration, citizen empowerment through access to information, and more effective governance. The resulting advantage of e-government can less the corruption, higher transparency, higher comfort, development in income, and also reduction in cost. As a conclusion, urban development is where cities form and function converge. By implementing well-conceived design principles, communities are not only beautifying their street, but also encouraging their neighborhood to operate better, safer, and more efficiently. Urban poverty refers to the set of economic and social difficulties that are found in the industrialized city that are the result of combination of processes such as the establishment of comfortable living standards, the increase of individualism, processes of social fragmentation, and the dualization of the labor market. So, the government needs to take action and stop pretending to care while showing no effort to solve the problem, as it will affect the quality of life in Malaysia and also affect the economy. That's all from me. Thank you very much.